I have the honor to give the second saying of Jesus, which comes from Luke 23:43. Jesus answered him, "Truly, I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." If I had to title this message, it will be, "Don't Forget About Me." Over the last few years, I've dealt with this strange relationship with my son. It had been difficult to establish the connection as most men look to have with their male child. These last couple of weeks, I've gained an understanding of what it was he required of me being his father. The one thing outside of my love that he required the most was my attention. All that he wanted was to be in my presence. He wanted me not to leave him, which is a fear of his that I didn't know existed. He wanted his life to change for the better. He wanted answers to questions that he never had answers to. Just like the criminal next to Jesus, all he wanted was not to be forgotten. The criminal, whose name is Saint Dismas, patron saint of those condemned to death, acknowledged Jesus, proclaimed his innocence, and repented for his sins. And at the end of his repentance, he had requested Jesus to not forget about him. When you are willing to be in the presence of God, despite all that you have done, you can see your life go beyond what you have limited yourself to. We spend so much time trying to identify with the negative situations. We blind ourselves to what's in front of us. If you continue to focus on the bad, you can't see the glory that God has for you. When dealing with my son, I had to try and think about how to communicate on a different level. No matter how good our day may have been, the moment I was out of his presence, something in him changed. And he'll get stuck in this mental funk. He'll become fearful of being left behind. Sometimes, even when we feel like we are following Jesus, we also think he has neglected us and left us behind. As we go through the struggles of life, we shy away from talking to Jesus out of fear of being judged. So how do you feel comfortable with talking to Jesus when you have done so much wrong? Well, Jesus accepts you doing the good, the bad, and the ugly. As people, we find it easy to talk to God when things are going right. We feel like we are more accepted and God hears us in those moments, but in reality, God never changes his perception of us. We get so lost in our own thoughts and concerns, we block our blessings with our own insecurities. Second, Jesus does not see us the way we see us. With just a simple reply, Jesus gave his word to Saint Dismas, telling him that he will be with him in paradise. How you feel about yourself does not determine how God sees us. We have to stop carrying additional weight, thinking that we have to be pleasing to man. God knows our heart. You may not dot every I, you may not cross every T, and that's okay. Because God knows you. God will still be with you. Be willing to lay your burdens down. Stop carrying those burdens. Stop carrying those burdens and be okay with laying them down at the feet of our Father. No burden is too big. No burden is too small. There was a moment where me and my son had to be vulnerable with each other. We had to have a discussion. In that discussion, we had to share things that we never thought we had shared before. We had to lay those burdens down that we have been carrying for so long. There came an understanding that he had access to everything his heart desired. We often hinder our blessings because we challenge God's work. Even in the midst of all our troubles, in the midst of all the things that we've done to ourselves and other people, Jesus still stands with us and takes the blows of fate. As we don't always get it right and think that Jesus has forgotten us, But in reality, we are able to push through our daily struggles because the Comforter is with us. As I read through this text, I wrestled with it a lot. It bothered me. I stayed up at night thinking about it. And I wrestled with it because of my own insecurities and the feelings of guilt for not believing in myself as a man and a father and feeling like I didn't deserve certain things. I know what it's like as a child to feel like I was forgotten about. I know what it's like as an adult to feel like I was forgotten about. But I stand here today, beloved, to tell you that your name is being mentioned in spaces and places right now that you haven't set foot in. God is just waiting for you to show up and take what is yours. In the book of Matthew 7, verse 7, ask and keep on asking, and it will be given unto you. Seek and keep on seeking, and you will find. Knock and keep on knocking, and the door will open for you. What Jesus said he will do it in your life. Jesus has not forgotten about you.